a pre-existing condition where maybe they're going to be susceptible to cancer no matter what they do. And that we as a society should come up with cures for those people. And so I think it's a combination of both.
Welcome to Unstoppable Podcast with Harry Sardinas, inspiring conversations with influential millionaires, investors, thought leaders, entrepreneurs who are making a massive difference with their innovative products and services, and sharing the challenges and the wisdom of how they sold their first million.
So adding tax to products that are not healthy, increasing the price, do you think that might have to educate the population? Or we need to work more? Maybe one of your startups can do this. I'm for sure if you can educate the population in how to eat healthy, and we have a large amount of people conscious now, not only buying healthy food, those companies will adapt for sure. Will adapt for sure, because at the end of the day, the consumer is the king here, and no one can beat the consumer, not the government, no one. If the consumer say, I'm buying this, everybody adapts. So what is your idea? How can we fix this problem? You look very healthy, by the way. You look fit with a lot of energy. Of course, you're in the industry, but what is for the rest of the people?
Well, I think you bring up so many really important parts. I think going back to your original idea, you pay when you're healthy and you don't pay when you're sick. I believe that with AI, we're going to be able to better monitor people's lifestyle, and they can opt into a system whereby it's less costly for them if they lead a more healthy life. Right. And we'll be able to look at, we'll be looking at
that would be amazing, because at the moment it's not like this. At the moment, the good food is more expensive. The good things are more expensive, and good quality avocado, high quality white cherries, you name it. If you go to a supermarket, at the moment who can afford this? It's expensive, right? Compared with the other products.
Well, look,
cherries have good price.
You and I know so many things about health. Exercise. Judy Foreman wrote a book, Exercise is Medicine. And in her book, she theorized that based on what we know. I'm sorry?
And it's free, the exercise. You don't have to pay for it.
Well, if
you have to pay for the gym, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you don't, but to your point, you don't have to, right? You can do body weight exercises and be in fantastic shape. Push-ups, sit-ups, air squats.
Run in a park is free, right?
Run. But we know with the work that Judy Foreman did as just an example, and there's a lot of work out there that's been done in this area, that it is not unreasonable that the average human being could live to 120 or 133 years old.
Wow.
But we don't, because we don't adhere to what we know. We don't pay attention to what we know about healthcare. You shouldn't be eating lots of sugar. You need to moderate salt. You need to eat enough protein. You need to balance your diet. You have to have fiber. I mean, we know these things about, you need to hydrate, right? Dehydration, 2% dehydration leads to cognitive impairment. That's it, 2%, right? Wow. During this call, if you don't drink any water, you're probably going to have have a drink.
I have my green tea, actually.
Yeah, that's what I have mine too. That's what I'm sipping on, some tea.
Very good.
But so to your point, we know that if we could encourage people to eat more healthy, it would be better. But what do you do about all those products in the middle of the supermarket or in the grocery store? What do you do, right? They create billions of dollars of revenue for these companies, and they're not going to abandon those lines of revenue.
And we have the habit, even you, that you are on the space, you have the habit of these cherries. So even you want to have it.
Well, it's
once in a while, because it's the habit. You already have that habit, and it's very difficult. You have your unconscious mind cover your restaurant behavior. So your unconscious mind is telling you, go have some cherries. Remember that taste. It's a habit that you have as a kid that's embedded. And how we change behavior. Look, that back to your backyard, what you specialize. How we change the buying behavior of not only people in the United States, people in UK, all over the world. is it a good idea to increase the prices? That solve the problem, but if people want to have it, like my girlfriend, she pays more than she has to go. So, and so what would be the how can we change the buying behavior of the population, or shall we, because you also work with industry, with technology, or shall we give more awareness to the companies, saying, guys, how about if you produce healthy products or like this? When somebody's in government, you're gonna be okay. Nobody can be able to come to you and tell you something about your product because your product is healthy and things like this. So what if you guys anticipate to the future and create more products that they are more healthy that we can get? For example, here in this broadcast, we interview one woman, and she is the person that invented the cauliflower pizza. So the woman on top $1 billion industry, because now you have bread from cauliflower, you have this from cauliflower, a lot of things. And who's gonna thought that the last vegetable in the list, because who wants a cauliflower? This thing is white, it doesn't have a color, doesn't taste to anything. Who thought that this vegetable that doesn't taste to anything will be amazing in order for people to have pizza and have kind of the same experience, and they don't have, it doesn't have gluten, it doesn't have this, it doesn't have that, and it was, like I said, she on top $1 billion industry just with her idea about uh, uh, about having this cauliflower pizza. So should we need to be innovating in the food? Shall we be speaking with the entrepreneurs? Who's gonna lead the way? The entrepreneurs with the new product and the market without that, or the consumer? We educate the consumer, and what's gonna happen? And you are in the media because you're working with the startups. You're working with the people, not only with the startup, also with the companies that have buying thing. How will be the behavior that we all need to have to be more healthy? Can you repeat the title of the book so people can live 300 years? I think this will be very interesting for our listeners. Yeah.
Judy Foreman. It's Exercise is Medicine. A great book. She was the health writer
Wow.
for the Boston Globe for years. But to go back to some of your ideas, I think it's a combination, Harry. I think it's that look, when I was a kid, we had gym class where we had to get out and exercise and run and play soccer and do various things, physical activity. And many schools have abandoned gym class. But my wife and I, Stephanie and I, have 3 children. They're all in their late 20s now, but all of them were 3-sport athletes. We had a rule in this house: you weren't allowed to come home after school. You could be in the band, you could be on the football team, you could be on the lacrosse team, the basketball team. It didn't matter what you did as long as you didn't come home after school. And part of that was, and my daughter Maya talks about this, she played on a basketball team and she didn't particularly love basketball, even though she's almost 6 feet tall. But she had a coach that was really adamant about physical conditioning. And what she learned from that experience was what it's like to be in really good shape. My oldest son, Luke, he trained to be in special forces before leaving the Air Force. You have to be in extremely good condition to do that. And my son, Max, is in the Coast Guard doing that now, where he's training. So our 3 children know what it's like to be in shape, not just to go for a run, not to just lift weights. We need to teach our children that. We need to teach them at a young age. We need to teach them that diet matters. And the problem is, societally, they're watching television and they're seeing commercials with Lucky Charms and Fruit Loops and sodas and candy. And yes, it does taste good. And yes, there's an addictive quality to eating lots of sugar and salt, right?
But which end up in inflammation.
Yeah,
that's why
exactly.
your company exit with so much money, because it's so big problem, because everybody have issue with inflammation because of the sugar, right?
Yeah, exactly. We know that a myriad of diseases could be addressed by just proper diet and exercise. But I had a good friend of mine that he runs a venture fund. He runs $1 billion venture fund. And he said, but we're not going to get everybody to do that. And that's why, one of the projects I'm working on, Harry, is a neuromodulation device that stimulates the pituitary gland, and it's going after obesity. It's trying to naturally stimulate the brain and send the signal to the stomach that you're not hungry, so that people eat less, right?
Very good.
Now, the reason I like that is because there aren't side effects. I mean, we haven't seen any today. It has to be further tested. But there are no side effects because you're not introducing a drug. You're stimulating the body to do something that it should be doing, right? Now, I would prefer,
and I hope that this doesn't have regulation, right? You don't need to get that thing approved by FDA or anything like this, no?
No, it will need to be approved. Yeah,
it needs to be approved also.
It'll have to go. It'll go through a rigorous approval process. It's a device that needs to be implanted. So
it's a device that needs to be implanted. Okay, I understand.
Yeah. It would be similar to like the devices now that you have for sleep. Where instead of wearing a mask, you have the Inspire device. My mother has one where you implant it under the skin and it helps people to sleep and not have sleep apnea. But going back to your point, I know that a majority of people that may utilize a product like this at some point would have been just as well off had they used proper diet and exercise. But there's going to be a period of time where, and let's say it's 100 years from now, where knowledge will become better. We'll be able to use AI to track what people do and reward them through lower premiums for good behavior and good health, versus people that want to smoke and eat the wrong things and say, yeah, you should pay a premium. It's like driving recklessly. If you get in an accident, your car insurance goes up. But if you're a good driver, your insurance stays down. I believe that there will be an equation at some point whereby society can reward for those who do the right things versus those that don't choose to. But that being said, there will always be some segment of the population that has a pre-existing condition where maybe they're going to be susceptible to cancer no matter what they do. And that we as a society should come up with cures for those people. And so I think it's a combination of both.
Follow us for more interviews with world's most influential, audacious entrepreneurs that overcame challenges and adversity, providing you with the blueprint of how they sold their first million so you can grow your business exponentially.